Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. This is The Vent. It's Wednesday, July 13th, 10:45. And thank you so much for tuning in and for joining us. And I'm here with Sam, DJ Gonzo, who I'm so grateful for his time to be co-host with me and do this and make it all happen. So how you doing, Sam?
I'm good. I'm just trying to get this lighting.
Yeah. So Ellis, how was everything last week? Is your family back? You back on your regular schedule? What else? So, okay, Sam, not yet. You have another week. Oh, okay. So you're saying in the gratitude show that there's nothing really positive going on, right? It's all just
Tomorrow I find out
like news.
A lot of I don't know about a lot of stuff going on in the world. I try to stay up with it, but there's so much bad and evil. You know, I mean, look what happened last week.
What happened?
The shootings, the mass shootings, the riots, protests, people going to jail, cops who get away with murdering people. I mean, it's evil. It's just bad. It's horrible that people just get a slap on the wrist and can go free. I'm referring to the cops. And then on top of that, Hillary Clinton, her whole court thing that she's been going through about her emails and everything like that. Why would they drag it out so long for years and then just drop the case because she's running for president? It's like your money, my money, everybody else's money went down the drain for people to investigate her for nothing.
That's just how the media is, I guess. I don't know. That's why I don't know. I'm like you. I don't really watch the news too much. I mean, at all, actually. I don't even really know about that shooting or whatnot that happened till like a couple of days ago. That's how out of the loop I am. But I do that for a reason. And it's not that I don't want to stay or be aware of what's going on, but I don't believe watching the news is sufficient to my evolvement, I guess. Evolvement, not involvement. But I don't know. Like I'll keep up with CNN and like the world stuff, but not when it comes. I just think the news is so bullshit, anyways. Because I mean, I used to be married to somebody that was in the CIA, and I know that the CIA co-conspires with the media. Like they're not allowed to promote or report the accuracy of things that's going on in the world. But I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right, Sam? Like this, it's all bullshit. Like,
I know.
And if they say the truth, they get taken out. Like that, it's that simple. But
I don't know which way to put my lights.
Wait, Alice says, what? The happiest people I know don't watch the news. Yeah, and and I don't mean to sound unsympathetic or anything about the shooting that happened, but there's always something, and there's always something. I mean, look, there's like a Rodney King. There's like, every year something happens, but every year something good happens too. So I think that's like what my point was, is there is no good news. There's just really not. Like, and so I don't choose to participate in all the bad stuff going on. Hey,
I don't watch the news. I read about it. I read about stuff all the time. And usually the places I read about stuff are not CNN or MSNBC or Fox News, anything like that. I read on stuff that if you were to read on it, you'll probably your computer will probably get hacked. So I read about stuff on sites like that. And a lot of it is just more truth, because a lot of the stuff is hacktivists, people that are hackers and can dig deep into something that the news can't. So
yeah. So it is accurate.
Yeah. It's
And let me just ask, because I'm just trying to understand. When you like read about this stuff, what are you trying to, I guess, accomplish? Like, are you trying to accomplish getting knowledge, or gaining a little bit more wisdom, insight on things in the world, or?
I just like knowing stuff more than what the news is allowed to say.
Yeah, that's probably like why you had an interest in the special forces and everything, right? You like to be in the know.
I like to know my surroundings. I like to know, like, me as a person, I'm semi-private to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I won't tell them the things that I do, or if I go into a large group of people, I'm always at the back watching everyone.
The observer, you number 7.
I can't. It may make me seem like I'm crazy or something, but I like to know my surroundings. The only thing that I don't know as far as surroundings is like if a missile blows up somewhere by me, or if a grenade is, somewhere. Like, I try to stay away from walls a lot, except for my own home wall, because I know what's behind me.
Wait, you said walls?
Yeah, like walls.
I thought you said laws at first.
No, I try to stay away from those too. A lot of them can be broken easily. So, I mean, look at the cops. They murdered someone and got away with it. So,
Yeah, Bruce is calling in. I'll go ahead and take him. Oh, you got him? Thanks.
Hello.
Hey, Bruce, is your internet better?
I hope so. Apparently, Windows Update was updating during what I was doing, and it just goofed everything up. So,
Glad to have you back.
thanks. I sent you a text. I didn't know if you got it.
Yeah, I did. I let everybody know that you were having internet trouble.
Oh, okay.
later today, actually, I have an appointment for my spine. They're going to tell me when I could have surgery.
So you are going to go through with surgery?
I'm just tired of the pain.
Yeah.
What kind of surgery, if you don't mind me asking?
I need surgery on my T3, T4, and my T5 all the way down to my L3.
Oh.
Our mascot showed up. Finally. She's never on, huh?
It's because I'm here.
Because you like Sam. You like Bruce too, huh?
Yeah, I hope you got a really good doctor for that.
Yes, I know. It's been a struggle for you, Sam. I'm sorry.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm on my 5th surgeon because the past 4 have dipped out of it. So.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I have been very blessed to work in the medical field. So when I had my hip surgeries, when I had both my hip replacements, I knew the doctors, I knew their work, I knew their bedside manner. So for me, that was a blessing for me, because I knew these guys and I knew what their work was like, because I took care of their patients. So, and with back surgeries and stuff like that, those are tough surgeries, because all it takes is one slip up and
yes,
you got a problem. But you can just research who you're looking at, look at their credentials, find out as much information, and actually word of mouth, in my opinion, is good, because usually if someone is that good and it gets through word of mouth, chances are they're going to do a really good job. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
One of my first surgery on my spine, I actually went to one of the top hospitals in the nation and had it done. So that was good. But then the doctor that done it, he was like in the top 10, top 5 doctors in the U.S. He backed out on the second surgery.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Ellis, your dog is so cute. The lab too. How cute. What's your dog's name?
Her name is Winter Grace.
Oh, cute.
That dog looks like it has an attitude.
She's the best dog ever.
Awesome.
The dog's like, "Why are you holding me on?"
Yeah, she's like, let me get down.
Let me
Stop
leave.
showing me off.
How you doing, Ellis?
Good. How are you, Bruce?
Pretty good. I haven't talked to you in a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, and here we all are again.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think I saw somebody. Devette wants to come on, so let me. I'll jump out and let her jump in.
Oh, okay. That's nice of you, Alice. Devette, you can. Okay, there she is. So the thing with back surgeries, Sam, is like I've seen you go through this struggle for a few months now, and it's. I mean, is that going to be like? Is that going to solve the problem? The surgery? Do you think?
No. I have a game set plan for the next 7 to 8 years, where we talked about like different surgeries. You know, at best, whatever they could get done, you know, that's what we'll do. So
I hope it works. Yeah, being in pain isn't fun.
I'm actually in talks with 2 biologists and a scientist person that's into artificial, like, body parts. And we're trying to find a way to make an artificial spine, nervous system, everything. So what it would do is it would feed in 2 wires into your nervous system and then into your brainwaves, so that it'll take away the pain. I know they got something similar to that, but I'm trying to get it just where my bones in my back are so fragile, like any bad twist can just snap my back.
Whoa.
And
so Gonzo, is that your name? Right?
Sam.
Sam, okay. Because I just read up top. Sam.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, okay? Because I do NLP and I do hypnosis, and what I've been taught and what I learned and what I honestly truly believe is true is they say that any back pain lasting longer than 6 to 8 weeks is emotional, okay? So here's my question. If you can tie a feeling to what that back pain is about, what would that be? What would that look like for you? If there was an event that has occurred in your life or an emotion or a feeling that you could say, this back pain makes me think of that, what would that be? Because I think that you can actually probably heal your back pain by discovering that and cleaning that up and clearing that out.
so you're basically telling me that it's an emotion thing, but the MRIs that I've had with bones floating in my back, that's nothing.
No, it's something. It's manifesting. It's emotional pain that is manifested into physical. So you can do it, yeah. No. So, and you can fix it physically. You can. But whatever, and it could be so small, dude. It could be something like somebody, you know, when I was a kid, somebody took away my popsicle stick. It could be something so simple and so easy, but this is how it happens, right? Your thoughts create emotion. And negative emotion, if it's hurtful, if it's painful, if it's negative emotion, it's like molasses. It stays vibrating in your body. And it stays there. And if you don't like deal with that emotional, this is what the whole world is dealing with. If you don't deal with that emotional pain, it manifests into a sciatica nerve, back pain, headaches, migraines, oh my God, a million trillion things. It shows up, it comes out, regardless. If you don't handle the which we all have to, because we all have it, whatever emotional like situation is attached to it, it keeps surfacing. You could do every surgery in the world, but you don't have to. But you can, and you should if you feel that you should.
Devet, just so you know, Sam's a 7 too. So just to give you some
Okay.
perspective on that.
Cool. Okay. So there's much more than that. So your emotional, your spiritual, it's manifesting in your back is what's happening. So if you want to have 10 surgeries, I'm telling you because I'm certified in EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. So it's so weird to me because I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. Emotion gets caught up in our body and it manifests in a multitude of ways. It can be cancer. It could be various cancers. It could be breast cancer. It could be prostate cancer. It could be, a tumor. It manifests. And honestly, this is the weird thing too that's really cool is that the type of person that you are, the thing that you worry about manifests in certain places. So they can actually tell if you're manifesting this in like this area, it's more of a stress. It could be more financial. Like if you have an upper this thing, people tend to carry that there. If it's a lower back or a middle back or a stomach, it has different thoughts attached to that emotion. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to take care of my aging mom? How am I going to whatever? And it manifests in the body. And I promise you, I've seen it 1,000 times, and it actually worked on me, which is why I believe that it's true, is that, when you deal with that emotional event, whatever happened, that emotional event, which looks like many things to everybody on a different scales, you deal with it, and it's like all of a sudden it like lightens up. And you're just like, oh, I feel good. You're like, wow.
Is it just like one event, or is it multiple, or could it be like?
In our life, there's a multitude of events that happen. So just imagine that, right? We go through like a cop doing us wrong, to a teacher telling us we're not worth it, to a parent, to a breakup. We have multitude events, but there's a core emotion that those events lead to. And it could be like not feeling good enough, or whatever that emotion, that core emotion, that first time you felt that emotion when you were a kid, you held on to that. We keep holding on to it in our journey. And then situations happen, we're like, you see, I'm not good enough. The cop pulls us over, gives us a ticket. We're like, you see, I'm not worth anything. It's like really stupid. But we think that. We're just like, we look back to our past when we were a kid and somebody hurt us, and then we match it to that. We're like, you see, no woman will ever love me because my mother didn't love me when I was a child. So no, your girlfriend breaks up with you, right? She's not good enough for you. Or she's a total whatever. She breaks up with you, and then you're like, you see, I'm not good enough because my mom, blah blah blah, whatever. That's emotional pain. And then what happens is it shows up in our neck or in our back or in our. So there's a situation that happened to you, okay? And whatever that is, it pissed you off, it hurt you, it made you mad, it was unfair, it was unjust, it was wrong, it was not cool. And you think of it, and maybe it has to do with your father, maybe it has to do with your mother, maybe it has to do with a teacher, or just yourself, or your bigger brother, or something. There's an emotion for some reason you're holding on to. And I know that because 100% of the time, every single person in the whole entire world that I've ever talked to, and I've talked to from kids and I've talked to professional athletes, everybody has it. So whatever that is, when you clean it up and you clear it out and you make peace with it and you realize that that was just an event, it didn't define you at all, then those pains, that back pain that is pressing on you, that back pain, all of a sudden it starts like kind of like loosening up. That's what happens. I swear. It worked on me, and I've seen it 1,000 times.
Hey, Devet. Oh, go ahead.
So,
Go ahead, Sam.
No, go ahead, Bruce.
I was just going to say real quick, because I was married for a while, and my ex kind of walked away from me, okay? So I don't think I have any issues, But it's been 10 years. I haven't really, I dated a woman for a couple of years, and I cut it off because of some things that she wasn't doing on her end. But so a lot of times I think I'm not worth being with because something I did made this person walk away from me. Okay. So what I am doing, and I'm doing this through my church, is going through a divorce group, and then also what they call a step study, sort of like a 12-step program for people that are going through alcohol and drug abuse, sort of the same type of a thing. And I think that's going to be beneficial for me as far as what you're talking about, you know, whatever that pain is that's causing me issues or whatever. So I understand where you're coming from when you're talking to Sam there. So, and I gotta believe the same thing too.
Yeah, so listen, whatever happened with your ex-wife or whatever, your ego made up a story about it and it identified you to it. And that story is probably, I'm not good enough. It's really simple that when you recognize it, you really just have to choose to not think that. It's really simple. Look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I am whatever you know that you are. I am a good person. I do this and I do that, and I love this and I love that, and you know, I care about people. I'm honest. You know, I care enough about my life and spirituality to even show up on this program right now to say be vulnerable. You know, so when you can start, you let that whatever story you made up about yourself in that situation, you can know that, like, you can just let it go. Like, okay, let me ask you, right? You know, if you were to know what story did you make up about yourself in that situation? She left you, and so then that means what?
Well, I'm sure it was that that I wasn't any good, that I did some wrong things in my marriage, and you know, this, that, and the other. You know, I'm worthless. You know, nobody's gonna like me because, you know, I failed at a marriage, and this, that, and the other. So I know that's what I know that's what I was saying, and you know, I'm just really realizing it now, to where I want to go and be around other people who've gone through the same thing. Talk, you know, we all going to talk and do our whatever it is we need to do to get through all of that mess. You know, put the junk in the trunk and take it to the dump.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing that gets me. That is actually, it's actually kind of comical. It's hilarious because that's everybody's issue. Right? So you have, I believe in God, and I believe in the devil. I believe in right and wrong, good and bad, right? I believe, just me, that there's a spiritual warfare of the truth and a lie. And then you have this thing on you, right? You have truth and you have a lie, and you have the lie telling you, that's the lie telling you you're not good enough, you're not worth it, you're not. Every single woman deals with that. Every single woman feels like, I'm not good enough, am I pretty enough? Is that girl, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, she's so sexy, she's like, oh, look what she's wearing. Guys don't care that much about that. It's a lie, right? We tell ourselves this in any situation. That's what you're doing in here. You're feeling like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it, she left me, what did I do, how could I not, well, I'm so stupid, how could I have not done this, you know, we internalize this self-abuse thing, and that's the lie. The truth is that you are magnificent, and that you are wonderful, and it's okay to acknowledge that, and when you acknowledge it, that's when you start vibrating at a higher frequency, that you start attracting that. If that makes sense.
Sam.
So what would you ask Sam? What question would you ask him then, according to what you're talking about?
So then I would ask Sam, so what is that event that you can tie to your back pain? If you had to tie an event to it.
I don't have an event.
Okay, so just pretend you had an event, whatever event is making you even feel uncomfortable right now. What's coming up for you?
What's coming up for me?
Yeah, like what do you remember? What is it that you're feeling that's making you feel uncomfortable?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like I go day to day based off of that day. I don't think into the future. I don't think into the past. I take life as it is given to me. And
That's good.
today was a day that I've been able to live because I'm here. I'm breathing. You know, that's the best thing I could ever thank God for me waking up this morning. You know,
You know,
and when it comes to situations, I'm sorry. When it comes to situations, there's things that I know some people like can say there's energy or anything like that. When it comes to me, just because people go through things differently than other people, that doesn't mean everybody has the same thing that, you know.
Nobody, not everybody has the same situation, but everybody has an energy that's tied to something.
but you know what? Like, listen, Sam is like, he's bulletproof. Like literally this guy, he goes through so much. I mean, even in the short amount of time that I've known him, I've seen him deal with pretty horrific things, and he's still happy, and he still gets through it, and he still just carries on and keeps chugging along. So I don't know,
like I don't try to put up a front. I don't try to hide any emotion. Like if I have an emotion, I show it.
I can totally see that. That's why you're here. I totally believe that. And and maybe I'm wrong about the back pain, but they say, and for me it's worked for me. They say that if back pain lasts 6 to 8 weeks, past 6 to 8 weeks, there's some sort of emotional pain, and all I'm saying is like evaluate that. I wouldn't know what that is. I know for me, I feel pain like here. I know what that is. I know what that stress is, and I could be like, oh my god, that's so that, and then I like work on it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let that go, or just have because I'm such a positive person too. I'm a 7. I'm deep. I'm very spiritual. I look at things and I hold, but then there's also the struggle in it, and I know where I hold that, and I hear what you're saying about your back pain. You're talking about that. And I'm just there's a possibility for healing in that too.
Devet, since you're a certified NLP coach, which is, if you guys don't know what that is, it's neuro-linguistic programming. Is this like, because I've heard this theory before. I'm not educated on it like you are, but does that tie into like pain bodies? How Eckhart Tolle talks about?
Eckhart Tolle talked about in The Power of Now. I know we used to talk about that a long time ago. It does, in a sense of this, is that as you're walking through life, you're going to experience various types of jabs or pains from anything in life, from people you care about that break your heart, or your parents, or your teacher, or you got an F in class and it hurt you. There's various pains, and we learn somehow weirdly to become addicted to those pains, which is really weird. But this is what Eckhart Tolle teaches us in The Power of Now, and because we're addicted to those pains, and I've experienced this in my relationships. Like my personal pain body comes up in emotional, intimate relationships. So we get addicted to that pain, and then we feed it. It feeds us, or it keeps giving it to us. We keep attracting it to us, and then it manifests in things that it's exactly what it's talking about. And it's so, and a lot of people that I've worked with can see how it's tied to some sort of something that we're holding on to, some experience or something in life that that we're taking through. But yeah, you're exactly right.
Well, I mean, what my question was is like, is this related to your NLP trainings and stuff? Like, since you're certified, I mean, you know way more about that stuff than I do. The programming aspect of it, like how our minds work and we program things.
Yeah. For example, there's the EFT practice, right? It's called the emotional freedom technique, and it's like it's a tapping. So it's like acupuncture without the needles. So basically, what you're doing is you're looking at a specific event and you're tapping, right? So you tap here, you start in your karate chop point, and you acknowledge that an event happened. You know, even though someone broke up with me, I deeply and I completely love and accept myself. And what you're doing is you're shaking up that molasses type negative energy that's stuck in your body. So you start kind of on tapping, but you're mentally also acknowledging it. You tap on certain meridian points, like above your eyebrow, on the side of your eyebrow, under your eye. Here, these are your meridian points on your shoulders, you know, under your arm. And as you're acknowledging this situation happened, and, you know, this is how it made me feel, and this is how it feels, this is where I carry it in my body, and it starts kind of releasing it. And so that's how NLP works.
That's interesting, because
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about that, and I was sitting there. Matter of fact, I saw a video of a guy doing that. I'm like, what in the heck is this?
What is happening?
I know.
You know, doing this and doing this and doing this. I'm like, does that actually do anything? I mean, I'm still kind of wondering if that actually does anything, because to me it looks silly.
It's, you know what, as a therapist that believes in it, it feels silly teaching sometimes my clients to do it, because I know that they feel silly. So I have a hard time enrolling them in the idea that this works, but I could tell you that it worked for me. Okay, when I was getting certified in hypnosis and in NLP, I was like, I got really dehydrated that week, and it was like a really intense course, and like my kidneys were hurting. Like I was literally having to walk out of class. And they said, well, let's do EFT, because you're going to get certified in it anyway, so you might as well go through it. So I was like, okay. I will not leave a class that I'm passionate about. I'm just saying, I will finish it. I was getting certified. I did not want to leave, but I was in such pain from dehydration that I was going to leave. So I'm like, okay, let's try this. So we went through the process. We did quite a few sessions through it, like 5 minutes, right? And then, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I was like a 9. So we went through a couple of sessions, and I went from a 9 to like a 5, and then a 5 to like a 6, and then a 6 to like a 3, and then a 3 to like 2, you know? And then I was like, oh my God, it's gone. I really did not feel anything. I finished my class, and I'm like, okay. It worked. So for me, it worked on me. So I've heard of trillion testimonies, but that's not my own experience. I'm like, okay, like, really, does that work? That's weird. It worked on me. And so that makes me a more of a believer, because I'm like, okay. There's been times that I've been in pain from something that I've been like, okay, I'm going to go through this process, and it's helped me. And it worked for me. So I'm an advocate of it, because because it worked for me, and then I believe a lot of the people that have told me that it worked for them. So I'm like, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for listening.
Sam, what are your thoughts on all this? It's interesting to hear from your perspective, because
honestly, last year in, I want to say February, something like what you said, everything that you said, I went through. And that's the only reason why, like, everything you've been saying, I'm not trying to disrespect you or anything. I'm listening, you know, but I've been through it. I've tried. It didn't work for me.
Okay.
There's things that are like more than just what's out there that other people can believe in, stuff like.
No, true. And you could totally have like your back is like broken in a place, and it just needs surgery, and that's totally, obviously, that happens.
So continue, Sam.
No, I'm fine.
No, you were saying what happened last year and you went through it. So were you saying you worked through it?
It didn't work for me.
It didn't work for you.
It doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's different techniques to different things, and like even a physical therapist, like was putting me through stuff that actually made my back worse.
Wow.
And it was like one of the surreal things that we didn't think was going to happen. Especially me, like I put all my faith into, like, I'm going to these things every week, hoping that this would work out, you know, and then it actually made things worse for me in the long run. They actually called my doctor and was like, we've been doing these same techniques on people that have went through this, and it worked for some, it hasn't worked for a few, but we actually made him worse.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And they quit seeing me. They said, we can't help you, and sent me back to my doctor.
Oh my gosh.
So,
And that's frustrating, I'm sure, when you think something's going to
Absolutely.
work, and then
it is frustrating, but, you know, they tried their best. I can't be mad at them, you know, because they were there to do one thing, and my body has another idea. So, I mean, I found out that just in March, I had to go through 3 different MRIs in a matter of 2 hours, because the first MRI, doctor was like, this can't be right. So they sent me on another one. And then same results. And then the third one came back and was like, we're going to send this off to somebody else because we don't think they're right. And come to find out, everything from my T3 all the way down to my L3. That's 10 different spine bones are bad.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Did you get injured when you were doing your services and stuff?
Yeah.
You did.
When I was working for Homeland Security, I got injured. I fell 10.5 feet down, landed on my tailbone.
Wow.
And from there, it started a chain reaction of, like, I don't know. I've never heard the term until 2013. Severe spinal stenosis. And at first, I had no idea what it was. And now, like, I've learned more about it. It's a disease where the cartilage between your bones are being, like, eaten away from your own body.
Wow.
Like, they're just degenerative spinal stenosis. That's what I have. And I've seen pictures where my spine was normal from years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So now where the cartilage between each spine, you can actually see the bones rubbing against each other.
That's crazy.
And that,
To the point to where some, like, my first surgery was L3 and L4, or my L4, L5, something like that. And you could see where the spinal cord right there, rubbed so much that pieces of my spine were, like, in my back, just floating there.
And is this like genetic or is it?
They said it could be genetic, but I'm the only one out of 7 kids and 2 parents.
and then and then it sounded like that maybe the trauma to when he fell might have irritated it even more. You know what I'm saying? And
They said I had it all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was born, like, the only way you could have it is if you were born with it. But when I fell, it caused the chain reaction to go faster at whatever happened. So, like, I don't try to live my life, you know, having people feel sorry for me or feel bad for me. I try to live life as much as possible, as best as I can. I don't try to hide, try to get people to feel bad, you know, cry, whatever. I live life to where if I can make someone happy or if I could help somebody out, that's my day. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
and I know that about you, Sam. I mean, because I've seen you on Blab since I've been here, so I know how you roll. So, and he's one of those kind of guys that he'll do what he can to make another person happy or to help a person out. And, you know, like I said, I've known Sam pretty much since Blab began, and I've seen him around, and I know how he rolls. So, you the man.
Like I said, he's bulletproof.
I'm just who I am
Exactly.
at the end of the day.
We all are.
And that's what he says too. I'm just mean. All nonchalant.
So I don't try to be someone I'm not. I don't try to be someone that tries to fit in with people because they won't accept me for who I am. If they can't accept me for who I am, then there's no reason for me to be around them.
Yeah, it's their loss.
I hear you.
I'm
Yeah.
just
So what positive can we come out of this from your having to have surgery? So now you made the decision you want to have surgery. And do you have a date scheduled yet?
later today, actually. It's
To go into surgery?
2:27. I find out later today.
Oh, I'm like,
Oh,
oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going
We
to
have a doctor's appointment at 1:15 in the afternoon. Here in about 11 and a half hours or something, whatever.
So how, knowing you, since this isn't even going to phase you anyways, you don't really let anything get you down, but what good is coming out of it? That you might have a fixed back? I don't know. I'm just trying to see the blessing in the situation, like I do with everything.
How do we end on a blessing? What's going to be good? I like that. I think that's beautiful because I always have stuff coming up in my life that stress me out, make me crazy, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on this call this evening because it even helps me realize, like, okay, what is it that I'm dealing with, and then like, how do I let go of what I'm dealing with, and what's positive? What am I going to create from it? So, yeah, with everything that I'm going through too. I mean, I have a beautiful grandson, and I'm looking forward to building my career. And I'm glad to meet you guys. I think you guys are truly, truly amazing and open books and love to share. And I think that's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Likewise, I'm meeting you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, okay. Did you?
For me, I'm just going to live life.
live
I mean, I can't think into the future. The future is never promised. You know, I don't know if I go to sleep, if I'm going to wake up the next morning. So if I do wake up the next morning, I'll live life to my fullest, and I won't waste it.
I was thinking of you being like a spokesperson for this kind of disease or something, or like a survivor of it, and you could like go out and be a motivator, inspirational.
That's one thing I hate, talking in front of large groups, and I've had to do it in the past. I've done it, but man, so crazy. I can't.
But the thing is, you did it. See, there's people that are scared to do it and ain't going to do it under no circumstance. But you went ahead and did it, even though it was uncomfortable for you.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference between you and other people. You went ahead and did it, although it made you feel like, oh gosh, am I going to screw this up? And I'm sure that's probably what you're going through your head, because I feel the same way sometimes when I'm talking. Am I going to goof this up? And I've never really had to talk in front of a big group of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a small group or something like that, where I feel comfortable sharing, you know, that kind of thing.
The largest group I ever spoke to in front of was a little bit under 1,000 people.
Whoa.
And I wasn't sweating at the time, but by the end of my speech, oh, definitely sweating bullets. Like, I was so nervous. Man, I couldn't. Like, I was like messing up words. I mean, I had a game set plan. I had a planned speech, and I just messed it up. I botched it so bad. So, like, even if it's planned, like if I have something planned out to say, I messed it up big time.
Yeah, but I bet you they didn't know it.
Oh, they knew it.
Oh.
I messed up so many times. Like I used to
Yeah,
travel
nobody
around.
ever knows it, right? When you mess up.
Oh no, see, I pointed out my flaws. Like I said, you guys have to. Yeah, that's how I was during the whole thing. So, but
Yeah.
I got it done. So
That's the important thing, right?
You know what, Sam? We get the honor to sit between two beautiful young women here that are very well versed in the areas that they're in. And for me, I'm enjoying this because they talk about things that I'm not real versed in, and so I'm learning as I'm sitting here listening to these two.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
We
I
learned
know.
from
Thank
you
you very
too.
much. Sure. Absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about communicating with people is you learn and you grow.
right.
So I think
Yeah, we all have something to teach each other and learn from each other.
Oh boy.
What were you going to say, Bruce? I'm sorry.
No, I was just trying to be silly. I said I think before I go to bed, I'll start tapping my forehead and.
Yeah, it works for even jet lag. I've just recently learned, so I'm gonna work on something with that. So it helps with jet lag, and people travel a lot, so
Yeah,
it's a powerful technique that I'm learning more and more about. The EFT. Start tapping, yeah, tap, tap, tap. Think about whatever issue and tap. I even do that with my grandbaby. He starts getting all fussy, right, with Kingston. Tiffany, see my grandbaby.
When
So
you say tap, it reminds me of ASMR.
You just tap on certain, like, I don't even know why it works. Acupuncture works, so it works that way. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Clears you out.
Yeah, I use ASMR to get me to sleep faster. A lot of people don't know, like, I talk to some people that listen to ASMR. They use the wrong headphones or something, because I use these Beat Studios and I get every sound into my head, every vibration, everything, every touch, everything. And it's amazing. It has me out within like 20 minutes.
Nice.
So,
really? Oh, you have issues going to sleep?
I have really bad.
Not with that.
Like if I get off of here and I know I have to wake up and be awake at a certain time, I will literally lay in my bed just looking at my ceiling, not being able to go to sleep. But once I plug that thing into my phone, put ASMR on it, I'm out.
Wow.
I just sit there, listen to the sounds and noises, and
yeah. I mean, I really don't have issues with sleeping. I put my head on the pillow and about 2 minutes later, but I do love to listen to like water sounds or storm, or like a thunderstorm or stuff like that. And it's just really relaxing. It's just kind of just takes you out of yourself almost. Just kind of like.
It quiets your mind. Your conscious mind is overactive and it's talking too much. Your conscious mind is talking about your bills and your day and what you got to do and what you didn't do and that you're not good enough and like everything. And those types of things, it silences it and it makes you relax.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's relaxing. Even a thunderstorm makes you relax because it's nature.
Yeah. I love that.
it's thunderstormed the past 2 days here in Michigan, and
wow.
it feels so good right now because earlier it was like 90 something. Actually, that felt good too. Never mind. But it's cooler though. Like to me, like heat matters. Like I could live in a hot place and not be worried about how hot it is. My family, my friends here, they're just, oh, it's way too hot. It's like 90 something. I'm sweating. I'm over here that has a long sleeve t-shirt on or something and sweatpants and be like, it feels so good. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So
I'm going to jump out really quick and let Ellis come in. I have to go pee really bad. I didn't get along. I'll be right back. Ellis, go ahead. Come on, Kate.
Then
I can do that, right? I'll just click off, right?
Okay.
All right.
You have to come live in Vegas. Tomorrow's going to be 110.
Oh, you got dry heat though, right?
That's dry heat, yes.
See, I can deal up to 140-degree dry heat.
140.
140. I love dry heat. It feels so amazing. Like, I went into a hot sauna room, not even gonna lie. Hot sauna room, it said dry heat on the outside of it and 139 degrees. I went in there, fell asleep. That's how good it felt.
Wow.
So Ellis, my man.
Hey, Bruce.
What's going on?
Ellis, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Sam? Hi, Devette.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Yeah, I like the stuff you're talking about, Devette, about how we hold, energy in our body and it has an effect. I've seen a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but I've seen a few instances of that have really kind of opened my eyes about how, nothing happens to your body on accident, right? There's always many, many different, possible connections. And
the cause and effect, right?
Yeah, you don't, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. There's so many things. And I saw someone that was kind of explaining how he went through this regression therapy and how it helped him kind of get in touch with whatever that core issue was that was causing his pain in his, I think it was in his shoulder, and how it was like overnight, once he kind of spoke the words and acknowledged it, it's like it gave that energy that was trapped, it gave it air and light.
It gave it freedom.
And just from him speaking the words and acknowledging it, because I think what was happening, it was just, it was trapped in this endless loop in his brain, and that manifested itself in many different ailments.
Well, it starts in the brain and it gets trapped in emotion, right? So you think something, but that thought causes emotion, and it's in the emotion.
Right.
It's not in the thought, it's in the emotion. There's a difference. The thought causes the emotion. You can think.
It's a there's a connection to that. Right.
Yeah, because you can think, two people can think the same thing and have two totally different emotions to it, right? Yeah. You can both think like apple pie and have a great experience or bad experience. So
because we attach different meanings to that.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So you have this emotion and it stays there. It's thick. It's thick energy. Right. So it stays there. And then when acknowledging it helps like kind of loosen it up.
Open it up. Yeah, I've also had situations where if you're with a very skilled massage therapist and they can unlock that, if they have this sensory, some people are just gifted where they have the sensory ability to know where it's locked up. And I've had situations where, I go into the session just thinking, oh, it's just a regular massage. But when they get to where you're holding all this emotion, I'm like weeping because it just, whatever was held there, it's like, oh my God, what just happened? And you don't, you're just, you're taking it back.
It's usually in like a deep tissue massage, there are certain spots that they can hit.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize, it's so weird though that you can hold emotion there. It's such a far-fetched or new age, or it's just such this evolved, advanced thought that we hold emotion and our physical body actually holds it, but it does, and then it manifests into something. It shows up in your skin and your headaches, and it shows up in that way.
And it was almost it was so startling to me when I had this sudden release of emotion, and you're just like, oh my God, where did this come from? And it was just because of that, that therapist had this very deep intuition about wherever I was holding it, it was there, and she was working on it, and all of a sudden it was just like, it gave me permission to unlock, and it was incredible.
And for me, like spiritually, like Buddha says, come to me, those who are weary and I forgot what the actual verse is.
Heavy laden.
And I will give you rest. You know?
Yeah.
And there's been numerous times I've given that away and taken it back, giving it away and taking it back. And when you give it away, as a matter of fact, when I went to this men's retreat, you know, men tend to hold on to secrets and things. They tend to hold on to them because they were taught you don't have to, you know, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. You don't cry because you're a dude. You know, this.
Right. Yeah, you can't be weak in any way.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a sign of strength to withhold feelings and emotions.
Right.
That's a script that was imprinted.
So when we went and released whatever it was we were hiding in our heart, oh my gosh, the feeling of freedom, like you were saying, the feeling of freedom and having that weight lifted off your shoulders, because it is a weight.
Yeah.
When it comes off, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like 50 pounds lighter. You know, that junk is
your energy is through the roof.
Yeah.
Right? You feel good. You're just like,
I was like
youthful.
It was crazy. And then the next day it was just feelings of gratitude. I mean, and this we're talking like 200 men in a room, and we're talking, and some of us are just weeping like babies, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And but it was really cool to see a group of men actually express their feelings and just reach out to the other guys the way you can't with a woman.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And women do. We release. We get together and we cry. We have wine. And we sob. And we, you know.
It was just that was just so cool, and I just can't wait to go on this next one. I'm going to go on, and I'm excited about it. And I'm just because it's hanging with the brothers, and we need that as men. We need that time together where we can all bond and do our thing. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And just the realization that other men feel the same thing, that you think you can't say it.
Yeah.
It's there's, you know, an immense synergy that happens when you're sharing this common experience. And it came to thought about, I don't know if you've ever studied like religion or ancient religion, but there's a genius in how they set it up, because, you know, like in the Jewish religion, you have you know, once a year where you release all the sins that you have. With Catholicism, you're supposed to go to the priest and ask for forgiveness for your sins. I think that has a cleansing effect, because if you feel that you're a bad person, if you feel you've done something wrong, or that you're a bad person, you're carrying that around and you have nowhere to put that negative energy. I mean, could you imagine how horrible that, you know, of an existence that is? So I think there's genius in how I think there's genius to how, and I don't think it's a coincidence of how, you know, man has figured out a way to survive by creating that ritual of asking for forgiveness. And
and it's just acknowledgement. It's just, I acknowledge this. You know, there's something handcuffed or chained into the dungeon somewhere, and you acknowledge it, and you just open it up and you just let it out. And we all have it. So it's our ego that tries to make us think that, you know, we can't show that, because then, you know, it's all ego. And it's not bad or good or right or wrong or anything. It's just, it is what it is. But when you see it for what it is and you shine a light on it, you can be like, I'm gonna open that key, I'm gonna let it go.
Right.
You know, it's not easy, but it's that first step, and the freedom. So the unease feeling, or the scary feeling, or the holding onto it feeling is one thing, but the freedom on the other side of it is so far more worth it and far more valuable, and it's so much more bigger. It's just, you can't see it because you're looking through the little tunnel of the issue. You know, we all have it, men and women, and we deal with it differently. Women are better at talking about things, I think. You know, we have really good support groups. We meet and we're blabbers, right? So we talk and we talk and talk and talk. And men are more, you can't, because you're taught to be men and to be macho, to be strong, and it's kind of unfair. You know, you're men, you are a different role, but you do also have to, you do need that release. And when you see one man do that, it gives permission to other men to do the same. You're like, oh my God, really, you too? I've seen that a lot in men too that are like, wow, I had no idea. I thought I was the only one, you know. And none of us are the only one.
I'm
I like
wondering.
talking. If you ever want to talk, I'm down. Like I don't mind talking at all. Like the more I talk or listen to someone talk, the more you could get out, like figure out who they are, or this any situation they come from or anything like that. I mean,
Yeah, totally.
so I don't mind at
Awesome.
all.
That's really cool.
Something that came to my mind was this crazy stuff that's going on in the world right now with the shootings down in Texas and all that. It makes me wonder, when people do that kind of stuff, if they had any way to release whatever was going through their mind, or you know what I'm saying? They didn't have
Yeah.
the resources to vent that, or
They don't
whatever
have
it
it.
is that was bothering them to the point where they would go and do something like that.
Yeah.
And then it just makes me wonder sometimes if people had access to.
They don't. We know they don't.
Yeah,
They don't.
big time.
They don't. Their whole, whether what they're doing is right or wrong, that's a totally different topic, but they don't have a release to release their frustrations, their fear, especially their fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. They don't have a way to release it, and so they're acting out and they're showing it, and it's not necessarily right how they're showing it, but it's unfortunate, but that's what they're doing. They're showing, they're expressing it, and they don't have, unfortunately, they don't have a way. They need a way. They need to know that there's a way.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill that it's not always refined enough for people to reach out and to know what to do. I mean, if you've ever seen a child, you have a grandchild, right, Devitt? When they're like really tired and they don't want to go to sleep, and then they can't function, and they're having all these emotions, right?
Yeah.
That's how I see a lot of adults, a lot of people. It's like they're in this place where they really don't know how to handle this huge rush of feelings and emotions that's happening.
Yeah.
They just don't have that practice yet, and it's such a very difficult thing to witness.
It is because they want it, but they just don't know where to get it.
Right. And you can see the frustration, right? When a child can't verbalize, or they don't know if they want. They know they're feeling something, but they don't know how to. And then an adult will say, "Well, what's going on? What are you feeling?" But they don't have that vocabulary. They can't tell you that. Oh, I'm so disappointed, or oh, I'm so frustrated. They're just feeling this rush of chemicals coming to their brain.
That they don't know where. Yeah.
And they want it to go away. And
that's such a good point. That is so true, because it's easy to pick a side.
Yeah.
It's easy to pick a side, and both sides are expressing something. It's either love or it's fear, right? That's what we're taught. I think that's the core of it. It's either love or it's fear. And if they're coming from fear, it's not that necessarily they're bad. They're just fearful.
A lot of stuff happens, right? It starts to have this domino effect.
Yeah, and it's all about protecting, fight or flight. So, you come from, I got to protect myself, I got to stand up, and, and it
feeling of survival. Survival is at stake.
Hey, Tiffany, do you want to come back up? I'll jump down if you want to come up. Just let me know, and I'll hop down. Yes, no, maybe. Let me see. What'd she say?
LOL.
No, I'll pop down because I've been up here most of the time. So I'll pop down and you can pop up. And if the seat opens up again, I'll pop up. Okay, so nice talking to you, Devitt and Ellis.
Nice talking to you.
Always a pleasure, Bruce. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
All right.
Talk to you, Bruce.
Hey, you guys. Thank you, Bruce. You could have stayed on if you wanted. I was really being entertained by watching and listening. So it was, yeah, it was good either way. But we do have to get to an ending. I still got to get to the gym. And Sam, Dino was just asking me to tell you he didn't mean to be rude yesterday. He was just really tired and he's all caught up in his sleep now. And
I mean, people have withdrawals, especially after being up 36 hours. Man.
Yeah, he's like, make sure you tell Sam I didn't mean to be rude. It's just I was so tired and I was trying to get everything done so I could go to sleep. And yeah.
You should see me when I stay awake for 3.5 days.
Yeah. And Ellis, I love your perspective on all what you were talking about, especially like
so interesting.
Yeah, it is, and that's why I love this guy. Like he's awesome because every time like I interact with him, I don't know. You're just really insightful, and I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice.
It makes sense what you're saying. Totally makes sense. And we all have like our own version of it. You know, like you said, the Catholics go to confession, which I was raised Catholic, and
yeah, so was I.
But yeah, we all have to find that thing that works for us and get it off and get it out. So yes, but
very insightful. Yeah, thank you guys. Great conversation. You guys are all absolutely wonderful, and I feel blessed just being able to talk with you guys.
Oh, thank you for coming on to the show, Javette.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was really nice. It was nice talking to you, Sam. God bless, like your surgeries and stuff. And I look forward to seeing you more on these. And all of you guys. I think it's really awesome. I had a blast.
Well, do you guys have any closing things to add, or
nothing that comes to mind?
Well, for me, let me just say that I think it's so exciting and amazing that everything always works out and that we can rest feeling amazing. And when we feel amazing, we just attract more amazing things. So, yeah, woohoo.
Thanks. You're so funny. By the way, this is my best friend. We've been friends for 13 years. It's hilarious. You should hear some of the conversations we have sometimes, but that's for another show. But yeah. Okay, Sam, do you have anything to add?
Nope. I'm good. I've been awake way too long. I know how it feels when people have to like get their sleep, and like I start a whole day like after my doctor's appointment all over again. So as soon as I get out, I got to get ready for a show.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're a trooper. You really are. And you better let us know what happens.
I enjoy it though. So.
I know you do.
Like I like staying busy. I can't just sit around and not do anything unproductive. So
your positive thing to leave for with the week is your blessing in the situation is that no matter what, you're setting an example to everybody who either tunes in or watches this and everyone in your life in general. And that no matter what you go through, you're the one that chooses how to react to it. You choose to either be in your shit or not. And I think that's really admirable that you always choose a positive attitude.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not like one of those people where, if something bad happens to them, they just stay eating ice cream in their sweatpants, watching Netflix, under covers.
Wait,
guilty.
Guilty. Don't judge me.
Thinking they can't
I'm starting to feel really bad
nice,
because
actually.
I do that
thinking that they can't get out of their low because each day is always a new day. You always have to be able to take that day and be like, look, I can make something out of myself, even if I'm in a bad situation. You can't have the mindset saying, oh, I'm in a bad situation. I can't do anything. I feel this way. I feel that way. There's other people out there that have probably way worse situations than you. Mm-hmm. And you just got to take that day and make something out of it, no matter how you're feeling. So.
I agree with Sam, but I still reserve the right to eat my ice cream in my sweatpants.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
that's right.
Crying or whatever, then I'm not even worried about it.
I'm just messing with you.
I want some ice cream now.
All right.
I'm gonna have some ice cream. Thank you.
Ice cream sounds good, actually.
Okay.
I know, right?
Well, and then everybody that's tuning in right now, thank you for joining us and everything, but we're just ending our show. So please tune in next week, next Wednesday at 10:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is the event. And yeah, okay. So nobody has anything to add? We're all good to go?
We're good.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys all have a wonderful week.
Good
Okay.
night, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in and see you next time.